Okay, this is the first attempt at the Calradic Cookbook. This will be a video on cavalry methodology in fighting other cav. So sections covered are going to be the dangers of the cav clash, which is the initial clash between both formations of cavalry. The second will be how to read animations and how to abuse enemy players through these animations. The third will be fighting cav in close contact when you're both right up next to each other. And the fourth will be the importance of staying moving in the cav fights and how to get enemies off of your back. Okay, so in this initial clip, you're going to be able to see a massive wave of cavalry in front, right? And this is going to happen, and you know a cav fight's about to happen. But for you as cavalry, this is one of the most dangerous situations, but this happens all the time. Like you see as I come around the corner, there's a very, very large amount of cavalry coming across. And this is kind of a situation where skill doesn't entirely get you out of these problems because there's so much coming towards you all the time. You have to be like so attentive of what's around you, and then stuff like this happens, right? No matter how attentive you're being, something can just come behind you. This can happen to anyone, good or bad player. So you need to be very aware when you're in these initial cav clashes. Honestly, it might be better to stay on the edges of them than to be deep in them. But as dangerous as they are, everyone else has these problems too, which means everyone else also has to keep a constant lookout to not get killed by the cav. Another danger is it's not just the enemies. Your own team can really cuck you over in this game. As you see, like a lot of them are crossing each other's paths. I'm getting slowed down by them. If I had an enemy on my back, I'd just die. So you need to make sure you're very careful when you're in these initial cav clashes and try and make it out alive. Like as I said before, you can just arrive on someone's back in these and get pretty much free damage. So it's a time of opportunity and of danger as cavalry. Okay. Then again, although being in these massive cav blobs is dangerous, something worse is being caught off all alone. You should never be charging into the enemy cav blob on your own because it's never going to end well. You're going to get dismounted and you're going to get swarmed by a bunch of vultures trying to get that extra 100 score on their scoreboard. So make sure you do stay near your team. So this is the first. Now we've moved into the section of animation reading, and I'll just show you the first time here. So I see this guy coming towards me, and I can tell from the animation that he's holding his shield up. Now me, who runs around with my spear constantly ready, I'm always going to be able to hit sooner than someone who has their shield up. But there's no point in stabbing towards his player because his player is covered by the shield. But if I see a player coming towards me and they're shielding in front of them, it means that their horse is going to be a completely free hit. You should get a free dismount, pretty much taking no risk, doing nothing. So if you ever see a player who is just holding their shield up coming towards you, you punish them and you just take the free hit on their horse. You see the same thing happening again here. So this player here, he has his stab ready. If his stab is ready, it means he's a legitimate threat to me. Because if I don't respect him, he could just click into me. As long as that spear is being held up, he is a threat. You're going to see what happens here is he's going to stab towards this other player. Now, when you stab towards another player, you're stuck in a recovery animation. So if you see someone stab something else, it means you have an opportunity, if you're fast enough, to stab them. Because they won't be able to block and they won't be able to stab you. I'll play it one more time so you can see it. He whiffs his stab on the other guy and I make up on that kill. Or rather, I dismount him. Okay, so another thing here, like it's the same thing again, I just see him, he's kind of holding his shield up, he's not really looking like he's going to contest it. So I take the stab towards his player, hoping that he's just going to fumble it. You could really go in these situations for the player or the horse, because if he's coming out of his shielding trying to stab back at you, you will hit first if you're running in with your stab held. It's the same thing here, like he's just started his animation here, so I know that I'm going to be able to hit him first. So I take the contest, and he ends up blocking it. Another thing like earlier, you see him going, you see him take a stab at the other players, he's stuck in a long recovery animation. It's especially bad for heavy cavalry, the recovery animation is very long. You should just always take this opportunity and try to go for the stab, because it's virtually no risk to yourself. So as you're roaming around, you're going to get a lot of situations like this. If you see a person and they're not looking at you, I mean, be greedy, go for that kill. The easiest kills you're ever going to get is just noticing that someone isn't looking at you. And as cavalry, it's really easy for you to capitalize on that. It's a bit harder to see here, but this guy, I know it's really hard to see through the bush, but I noticed that he's running around with his spear not ready and not blocking. He's doing nothing. If someone's doing this, this is a completely free kill. He's not blocking, he's not putting any threat up, he's not preparing a stab, you just take that free kill. And again here, right? You see the guy, he's running around, he has his shield up. You know that in this position, there's no way he can ever hit you first. It's such a free moment for you to just stab that horse and get that free dismount. That's score in your pocket, and it's stopping him from getting any more damage done. So another one here. I come around the corner. I know it's a little hard to notice, but as he's coming down, he looks at the infantry and he prepares to stab on the infantry. Since I know he's not going to stab at me, I'm going to try take the stab on him and try win it. I'll play it one more time. It's a bit hard to notice, but he's stabbing at an infantry on my left, and while he's doing that, I'm able to land a hit on him. One more moment here. This is what I mean about it's faster to come into a stab from a held stab than it is from a block, because despite the fact that I'm on higher ping, I notice he's blocking up until the very last moment. So since I know he's blocking, I'm going to try to take the stab on the player, hoping that he's going to release his block. And he does. He tries to contest my stab, but because he's coming out of the blocking animation, it takes him longer and he dies. So if anyone's ever blocking, you should always take the contest. More often than not, you're going to get something out of it. Another moment here, this cavalry coming, the heavy cav, he's going to take a stab at my teammate. Since I know heavy cavalry has a long recovery animation, I'm going to try to take the chance and stab at him. If this was a light cav, he'd recover too fast and I wouldn't have challenged this. But since he's heavy cav, I'm just able to make it. Okay, here's another thing to keep in mind when you are playing cavalry. You need to keep in mind where you're going to end up after you do your stab. I got very greedy in this clip, and I did not pay attention to what was around behind this guy, and I end up running straight into the enemy infantry line. You should always make sure you know where you're going to end up after your entry. I was lucky to not die here. Now, this is the whole thing of the close range fighting. But also, like, you'll notice, this is going to come into a later point, is this guy's running from me, I'm on his back. And since I'm on his back, I have a lot of more opportunities to attack him than he has to attack me. But as you see as he comes around this corner, I know he's shielding. This kind of comes from earlier with the animation reading. I know I'm not going to be able to hit his player. So, since I know he's going to block and I know I can't hit him, I aim for the horse. Getting this opening 90 puts me very far ahead in this fight, despite the fact I was going in with lower horse HP. So when you get small fights like this, you need to be very careful on where you're stabbing. There's no point stabbing into his shield if he's shielding, so I take the stab into his horse. But you see, I'm like angling it away and I'm dragging it in. Because I'm so close, if I'm not using angles on my stabs, it's going to blunt and do no damage. Okay, so this is what, now we're in the section of threats on your back and why it's important to always keep moving. I know it's hard to think of in a CC, but especially if you're on a slower horse or a faction that doesn't have faster horses, you need to constantly be wary of people showing up on your back. So it's why you need to always stay moving. You should occasionally check where you are and never run in a straight line because it's just going to be a free hit on you. I mean, like even here, like I'm going to whiff this hit, but as these massive cav fights are going on, anybody can just have someone show up behind them. You know, if I didn't whiff that, he's completely dead there. So you should always be checking around you. Now, this is a thing of clearing threats on your back. It's the easiest way to clear a threat on your back is just running through your own infantry line, because most of the time they will not be able to follow you. If you're on a faster horse, you can completely run away. But in situations where you're on a slower horse and you're forced to deal with something on your back, otherwise they're going to continuously just chase you around and hit you. There's a technique where you're using S and E on your horse to make it slowly rear. You're using A or D to turn in the relevant direction, and you're trying to catch them by surprise by quick turning and hitting them. This works pretty well for getting people off your back. Like here again is a point of why you always need to be staying moving and looking around you. I thought it was safe to try initiate a close range cav brawl with this calf, but what I didn't notice is there was just two cavalry appearing behind me, which is why you should never slow down, especially when there's a lot of people alive on the field. So here again you see this is the whole like quick turn technique. I know I can't continue going forward in this position. Yeah, in this position. Because there's cavalry coming from the right side here. If I continue going forward, I'm going to get cut off and probably die. I want to turn around, but there's a guy coming from my back. And I really don't want him chasing me. So I do the technique. You see, I'm rearing my horse. I'm turning with A, and I'm contesting him and trying to catch him off guard. And I end up winning it. And it lets me completely slip away. These are the techniques on how to combat enemy cav in a Calradic field battle. I hope you enjoyed.